Right, we're standing on the new foundation for the Nlhf Training and Research Centre, and behind me, where you can see the reinforcement, is going to be the section where it joins onto the blacksmiths and where we can park a little quarry hundlet. We're slightly delayed pouring the concrete on this because suddenly the temperature has dropped, so we're going to wait for a better day. Well, you might not believe it, but this whole roadway has been dug up in the last 8 weeks, all the way from the lobby of the machine shop to beyond where I am now, in order to put in the new rainwater drainage. And we're going to dig it all up again next to that to put in all the services, because it's been filled in for now so that we can carry on using it. So we've just started work on the old ore store, which has been stripping it out. But of course, it's a good example of the perennial problem we've got is, oh, I wonder what this cable does. So right at the moment, we're just trying to work out which cable is which in this hole. We've been doing that all over the site. We did manage to strip a load out last week and not cut anybody off. We'll see how we get on this week. So this will be the last view of the den. We had a volunteer team helping us strip it out last week ready, and the first thing that's going to happen is the asbestos contractors are coming in to rip out the ceilings, and then sadly it's time to say goodbye. So you can see we're putting lots of new inspection chambers here, which are a little bit bigger than the old ones, and the ducts are a little bit bigger, which should make it much easier in the future to work on our services here. And you can see there are six, well, you may not be able to see, but there are 6 main ducts running all the way down the roadway, but also across the site. There's 4 big ducts going this way, but you can see also we're having to fit in the water main, which is the blue, and new foul services, which is the terracotta colour. So we're trying to match all these services across. Part of what we've done is pull out all the cables at the roadway, so the pipes that went across this area can now be removed. So, you may not believe it, but down here, behind this set of drawers, this shelf here, are 3 brand new big ducts about this size to enable us to bring cables properly underground into this building instead of coming through the window as they do at the moment. The poor window is in desperate need of sorting out, and it'll be a much better route for the cables as well. So one of the things that we found when digging trenches for all these services was a brick floor, stepped brick floor here, which had already been broken through beforehand in one place, but was still in place here, and we're fairly sure it was the floor of the boiler house that drove the belt machinery for the machine shop. And as you look up just above here, you can see the witness mark of where it used to join on. So here you have the temporary toilet facilities, probably the most scenic ones in Snowdonia at the moment. Here we have what is going to be a temporary washing facility. And here we have the temporary den and the temporary locker room and a not temporary member of staff.
Welcome to the site of the Nlhf small loco shed. We're building this on, well, pretty much the last scrap of remaining ground at Boston Lodge. And this 3-road loco shed will be here so we can show off our collection of locos, because on tours, although there's a rich history to the place, you speak to most people and they want to see the steam locos. But it will also be used for occasional prep of steam locos, and I know that the crews are looking forward to using it for that sometimes too. Work so far has been by contractors, and it's largely focused on 2 areas with a large amount of excavation to achieve this in some very hard rock. The 2 areas are the back wall, so this is a large reinforced concrete back wall. This holds back the water. We get a lot of runoff in this location, and it also protects us against any potential falls from the rock face above. The other large excavation has been for the inspection pit for the locos. This is for the right hand of the 3 sidings in the shed, and you can see it here. It's an odd shape because the siding goes across the left-hand bit there, and then there's some side access which is much safer and easier to work than just going down steps in the 2 foot between the rails. So the large-scale excavations are pretty much over now, and it has been a bit of an epic task. There's over 1,600 tonnes of very hard rock gone off-site to create these facilities. Next steps will be to finish off this concrete work, to provide some track slabs so our volunteers can come in and lay some tracks, and to get everything ready for the shed erectors to turn up in the next 6 weeks or so to put the shell of the shed up. Following that, it will be handed back to us, the railway, and our wonderful volunteers, and we and the volunteers will be kitting out the shed with all the electrics and light and all the things that we require for the shed. So fingers crossed later this year we can bring it into use.